Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A family's cries appear to be finally heard after months of asking. Safety changes in the works for an intersection on San Antonio's west side.
It's a story that sounds familiar to you because we followed it for several months since a San Antonio police officer hit and killed a pedestrian at 39th and Commerce. So that exact spot has been a concern for community members for years. SAPD records show that between 2016 and 2021, 58 crashes have been reported within 50 feet of that intersection. The night team's Lee Waldman explains the city's proposal now to make it safer.
He's not around anymore to share memories with. It's hard.
The flowers are still placed on 39th Street, marking the spot where Feliciano Jimenez died.
He shouldn't have died just to cross the street.
4 months after he was hit and killed by an SAPD officer, his niece Belinda Herrera is still mourning. She and other family called 311 for months prior to Jimenez's death, asking for a traffic signal, saying this intersection isn't safe.
Why should we be calling traffic people and stuff like that to do their studies, to do their job? We're taxpayers.
San Antonio Public Works Department wrapped up a year-long traffic study of the intersection in May.
What we do is we try our best to make sure that infrastructure is there, it's working, and then hopefully human behavior will be dictated by that infrastructure.
The study found the amount of traffic on a given day and the number of crashes at the intersection met the requirements for Public Works to recommend a traffic signal, something narrowly missed in a 2019 study.
And it came close, it just didn't meet the criteria.
A 2019 study fell just an hour short of the necessary traffic to recommend one.
There were higher volumes of traffic, and then we also looked at crash data for recent years, and that kind of helped us. That met two of the criteria for putting in a traffic signal.
You can see there isn't much at this intersection aside from this stop sign here and one across the street, but with the mayor's office contribution of $100,000 and the Public Works Department request for $400,000, this intersection could look a lot different.
I would imagine that there is going to be some crosswalks with pedestrian signals telling pedestrians when it's safe to cross and when it's not safe to cross. Certainly the traffic signals.
All of that is up to whether or not City Council votes yes on the proposed $500,000 project.
Until I see the lights, flashing lights, I'll be happy. I'll be happy for my uncle.
Now, Barry says they'll put in the project request budget in September in front of City Council. If approved for the 2023 fiscal year budget, then work can start on that traffic signal come October. Reporting live, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
So now to that fuel fire that forced people out of buildings today. We brought it to you live as it was happening on the northeast side. We know that something sparked after a truck was delivering fuel at a welding facility. There was an explosion, then came the fire. And what's amazing here is that the truck's driver escaped with only burns to his hands. Look at that. It was near Wetmore and Thousand Oaks Drive. Someone behind that welding facility caught the moment that flames were just like that, shooting right into the air. Fire Chief Charles Hood says the flames burned about 4,000 gallons of diesel and about 1,600 gallons of propane. One welder says that he told everybody to run once he saw those flames.
Well, we were working, and then all of a sudden we just heard a big loud boom. I stopped at the other shop, started yelling in there too. Everybody get out, get out. And we just actually had a safety meeting about fires, so we were well prepared for this.
About 40 employees at that facility were evacuated safely. None of them was hurt. Firefighters had to use ladder trucks to climb above the fire to dump the water below.
Another life claimed on a lake just yesterday. We told you about a body recovered from Canyon Lake. Now, just this morning, another San Antonio man's body was found, this time at Lake Travis. Friends say 33-year-old Roger Mendoza was at that lake for the holiday weekend when he drowned. Mauricio Rios, one of Mendoza's closest friends, he says Mendoza had a talent and love for dancing, even started his own dance studio.
But Roger is my family. I didn't want to believe it. He didn't even know how amazing he was and the impact he had on people and to his love of dance.
Mauricio says Roger used dance to connect with the LGBTQ plus community and anyone seeking confidence in themselves. A vigil for Roger Mendoza will be held at Studio AV on Tradesman Drive tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Now to the migrant tragedy in San Antonio. The man accused of driving that truck waived his court hearing this morning. Instead, Homero Zamorano Jr. agreed to remain in jail pending a trial. He's facing a charge in connection to the deadly human smuggling case, and if convicted, he could face the death penalty. Now, we're also learning more about the people who were found dead inside of that 18-wheeler. All but 6 of the 53 migrants have been identified. The Bexar County Medical Examiner says 22 of the dead were from Mexico, 19 from Guatemala, and 6 from Honduras. The youngest victims were just 13 years old. Those migrants were found June 27th in a hot trailer near Quintana and Casson Drive, and now there's a memorial there. Only 11 of those migrants survived, including one woman who says that, listen to this, her friend actually told her to sit next to the trailer's door because she thought that that's where it would be cooler.
There continues to be a battle and a lot of discussion about immigration, but one sheriff appears to be taking matters into his own hands. At least that's what he's claiming. Following a crash last week, Kinney County Sheriff Brad Coe said federal authorities wouldn't take 4 uninjured people into custody without getting them medically cleared first. The sheriff didn't want to take up deputies' time waiting at the hospital. So Coe says he offered the 4 a ride to where they could get home, quote, safely and securely.
We transported 4 back to the port of entry in Mexico so they could return home. There was no formal deportation. It's just we put them in the truck and took them home.
But was it legal? There are people who are doubtful and say that it's a de facto deportation, no matter what the sheriff says. Erica Schaumer, a clinical professor of law at St. Mary's Law School, says if someone asked for a ride home, the sheriff could do that. But it would be problematic and possibly illegal to do it in his patrol car, in uniform, in his official capacity. Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott sent more DPS troopers and taxpayer money to the Texas-Mexico border. Tonight, the U.S. Department of Justice taking a closer look at Operation Lone Star. The DOJ wants to know whether civil rights violations were committed under Governor Abbott's border initiative. State records show the Texas Department of Public Safety was notified of the DOJ probe back in May. In a letter, the DOJ says it received information that DPS may be targeting people for arrest based on their race or national origin. Several groups and immigration attorneys have raised questions about migrants who are arrested for trespassing and detained for weeks at a time. Trespassing in the state of Texas is a misdemeanor. Governor Abbott's office told ABC News the Biden administration is attacking the state for, quote, taking unprecedented actions to do the federal government's job, end quote.
It was another hot day across San Antonio. Today, we were able to see a high temperature of 101. That is 7 degrees above average and just a degree shy of a record set back in 1988. Elsewhere, it got up to 102 in Del Rio, 100 in Uvalde, 103 in Hondo, 103 in Pleasanton, even 107 down near Cotulla. And we are just getting started. Believe it or not, it's going to be even hotter over the weekend. Now, coming up, though, I am going to take a look at how this drought, this exceptional drought, has impacted our local rivers. So you're going to want to stick around for that. And, of course, that toasty forecast coming up soon.
Toasty forecast. All right, Sarah, thank you. And now to another story that's trending online. Now, we first showed you the viral video of that. Rats at a Taco Cabana in Leon Valley. That restaurant off of Loop 410 in Bandera said that they closed the place to clean. They plan to reopen tomorrow. So we went back earlier today, didn't see anybody there. So we emailed Taco Cabana and we're still waiting to hear back. Yeah, it's a story that a lot of you have been talking about on KSAT's Instagram and Facebook accounts. We also have the story on KSAT.com, and that is where you can watch the full story. Just click on this article, the one with the rats.
Yeah. Next, potential missed opportunities to stop the Uvalde shooter. The concerns being raised by a new report and what we're learning about the investigation. It's next on the Nightbeat. Missed opportunities and law enforcement delays that may have cost lives. A critical review of law enforcement response at the Uvalde massacre released today by the Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training Center, or ALERT.
Now tonight, the night team's John Paul Barajas breaks down that review and also speaks with parents of a student who survived that massacre. And John Paul, that family that spoke to you, they wanted to stay anonymous.
That's right, but they aren't staying quiet about the findings in this report. The review is from the ALERT team, which trains officers on how to respond to an active shooter event. Their pointed out that the locks at the Robb Elementary were not working on the building's exterior doors, and that the gunman could have been killed within minutes of stepping foot on the campus. It began with a crash and soon gunfire in Uvalde. At 11:32, the report states the gunman reached a teacher's parking lot and fired toward school windows. Less than a minute later, he entered Robb Elementary. It's between that time frame, a Uvalde police officer armed with a rifle had the gunman in his sights. The gunman was able to get into the school as the officer asked for permission to shoot, a finding that doesn't sit well with the parents of a student survivor.
If you saw that, wouldn't you want to do something about it?
You see a gunman running with a gun in his hand, running towards a school full of kids that are still there in class. I would have shot him.
In the report, ALERT notes the officer did not have to ask permission to fire since deadly force was warranted, but also adding the officer was concerned gunfire could hit kids in the area. A little over 3 minutes after the gunman's entry, 11 officers, some with body armor and rifles, are in the building and make their way to classrooms 111 and 112. They take on gunfire. This is where the report cites them losing momentum. They backed away as parents tried to go in.
They are holding us back, trying to do their job, from going in. And really, I wish we would have all just barged in. That some kids were alive. My son was alive. You could hear the killer walking back and forth with loud music, talking to himself, and, laughing.
The review states their training is to stop the killing, then stop the dying, adding, quote, "This ordering means that we expect officers to assume risk to save innocent lives." As the gunman shoots sporadically, 19 minutes after he entered the school, the first ballistic shield arrives. Minutes later, 911 calls are made from inside the classrooms. For 13 minutes, there's conversations between officers in the hallway. At the time, District Police Chief Pete Arredondo asked for classroom keys, but they never tried to open the door. At 12:37, Arredondo attempts to negotiate with the suspect for 10 minutes. Finally, at 12:50, the classrooms are breached. The gunman is killed.
There's a bunch of kids in that classroom. Why the want to negotiate when you're trying to save lives?
ALERT said there were also possibilities to distract the suspect and breach the door to get into the classroom sooner. The report also noted there was some confusion in coordination among officers. Some were bunched up in different parts of the hallway, which could have led to crossfire among law enforcement. But it ultimately came down to not rushing in to save more lives. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
John Paul, thank you for that. Now, DPS has said that Pete Arredondo was the lead commander for the response and blamed him. Uvalde's mayor has claimed that DPS has been leaving information out of their own response to the shooting. The Justice Department is set to conduct its own review of the investigation. Now, in the meantime, a House committee continues its own investigation. A notice of deposition has been sent to Uvalde Sheriff Ruben Nolasco. The Texas House Investigative Committee says that thus far, Nolasco has refused to testify voluntarily, and they've scheduled that deposition for Monday afternoon.
The effort to train people for an active shooter situation continues in our community. Several churches gathered tonight to learn directly from Bexar County deputies.
It's better to have a plan of action than to not have a plan of action. What we've already received tonight has been so helpful. In just the hour that we've already heard tonight, there's a whole lot that I think will be helpful in whatever venues we're in.
The sheriff's office says it's ramping up its training efforts in the wake of the Uvalde shooting.
On a lighter note, we want to take a live look outside. This is right over the San Antonio Botanical Garden. Just a beautiful place to be during the summer, even though it is muy caliente. Now, I got to say, we're showing you this because in about 12 hours or so, the Botanical Garden is going to have an event called Story Time in the Garden. So basically, you could bring your kiddos and they read them books outside from 10 to 10:30 in the morning. So it's a really nice thing to do with the kiddos before it gets super hot.
You know, Sarah, all I keep thinking is what a task they have at the Botanical Gardens to keep all that vegetation alive in this weather.
I know, and they do a really good job.
They do an awesome job.
They do a great job with conservation too, and making sure that the water is conserved. So way to go, Botanical Garden. I'm going to try to learn from you when I get a good garden myself. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk for a second, though, about how this drought has affected our local rivers. Let's start first with the Frio at Concan. Now, Uvalde County got some good rain over the weekend. Now, before this weekend, the Frio River had zero stream flow. Now, just because a river has zero stream flow doesn't mean that there's not water in it. It just means that the water is not flowing. Now, since they received that water in Uvalde County, the stream flow has gone up a little bit, but it's still at its lowest levels since September of 2011. And we all know what happened in 2011. Big time drought. Meanwhile, the Guadalupe River at Spring Branch has stopped flowing. Zero flow there at the river. Now, again, there's still water in that river. In fact, this is a look at the Guadalupe a bit upstream in Sisterdale in Kendall County. You can see the water there. It's just very, very shallow. Meanwhile, a little bit further downstream, the Guadalupe at New Braunfels is okay. It's flowing. Let's take a look at the Comal, though, at New Braunfels. A lot of us are familiar with the Comal Guadalupe rivers floating around this time. The Comal usually has a good stream flow to it, and it's still got a decent stream flow to it, but it's the lowest since 2014. And so again, this drought is affecting our local rivers and of course our reservoirs. Medina Lake only 14% full. Canyon Lake doing okay, but Choke and Amistad, they're about 35-36% full. If you live on Medina Lake, you know how low that reservoir is. And unfortunately, no significant chance for rain through Tuesday, 0% chance. Even on Wednesday, only a 20% chance for an isolated shower or storm. And the reason why we're going to be dry is this heat high, which is going to be firmly moving over Texas in the coming days here. And so we'll be looking at our high temperatures actually getting hotter. We're going to be at 103 and 105 over the weekend. Likely going to be close to records on Sunday and Monday, but really we'll be close to records just about every day. We have the best chance, though, of beating those records Sunday and Monday. Notice that by Wednesday, that high drops to below 100 degrees. Still going to be hot, but the reason for that is that small chance for rain as that heat high tries to move off to the west. Again, today we got up to 101, well above average by 7 degrees, and even our morning low was above average. Early tomorrow, it'll be 78 in the morning, 91 around noon, 101. Get those activities done early in the morning. Try to beat the heat if you can. Again, another triple-digit day, likely our 7th in a row and our 28th triple-digit day so far this year. 102 in Del Rio, 104 in Cotulla, 102 in Pleasanton. Neighborhood view here, it'll be 97 in Helotes, 97 in Bernie, 101 in New Braunfels, 101 in Floresville, and 102 in Pleasanton. But again, not great news in the forecast for us over the coming days, just continuing to crank up that heat. By the way, that river information, Justin Horn wrote a great article about it online at KSAT.com. You can take a look at that too if you want to see more information on that.
Awesome. Something else to check out on our website. Thank you.
All right. A former Spur arrives in L.A., Greg.
You know, he gained a lot of popularity with Spurs fans early on in his career here, 4 seasons in San Antonio. But today, Lonnie Walker IV introduced as a Laker in Lakerland. When we come back, hear what Lonnie has to say about the big change and who's the top team in Class 6A in the state from San Antonio. Coming up. For the first time since he agreed to a 1-year, $6.5 million deal today, Lonnie Walker IV was introduced as a Laker in Los Angeles today. Walker signed on the dotted line after the Spurs rescinded their qualifying offer of just over $6 million a year, making Lonnie an unrestricted free agent, free to suit up in purple and gold. The first question Lonnie was asked today is how all of this would unfolded for him this offseason while watching DeJounte Murray get traded off to Atlanta.
Well, it kind of first started, when I was out here working out, just trying to figure out what's next and what to do. And I seen that, DeJounte was about to leave to the Hawks and whatnot. And I know that they were about to be in the process of rebuilding and doing things of that nature. So, Luke and we came to an agreement of what's next, what we're doing, so on and so forth. And the Lakers gave us the call. I'm just here, ready for the opportunity.
He answered the phone. Lonnie spent 4 seasons with the Spurs after he was drafted by the Spurs in 2018 with the 18th overall pick, where he played in 70 games last season with 6 starts, averaging a career-high 12.1 points, along with another career-high best in assists, 2.2. Lonnie has said in the past that he learned more about basketball by attending the University of Popovich over the last 4 years. Today, reporters in L.A. wanted to know what the 5-time NBA champion taught him.
With Coach Pop, it's always been about professionalism, staying in the gym, and not making the game too complex, not too complicated. With Spurs, we live by 3 things, 0.5, as far as catch and shoot, drive, or pass, being as decisive as you can.
There you go. Our San Antonio Spurs are just 2 days away from tipping off the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. That's after getting in a final workout at the Spurs practice facility. Number 1 draft pick Jeremy Sohan out of Baylor will be making the trip with the team after testing positive for COVID, but his availability to suit up remains in question as he continues his rehabilitation in the NBA health and safety protocols. We do know the other 2 draft picks will be ready to go, and Malachi Brennan and Blake Wesley, who just signed his first ever professional contract.
It's interesting. It's a juggling act of trying to give enough structure and organization so there are roles, but give enough freedom so they dictate the roles, right? Summer League is different than the season. So there's a part of us that want them to tell us what it should be, but it's our job that it's not a free-for-all on the circus. So it's a juggling act for sure.
I'm excited. To play in Summer League. I went to Summer League 3 years in a row to watch the games. I seen Zaire Williams, Kate Cunningham play last year. So to be able to play this year against them is going to be good, going to be fun.
All right, here's a look. It all starts this Friday, 4 p.m. against the Cavaliers. The scheduled games end before the playoffs start against the Hawks on Thursday. That's the July 14th against the Hawks at 2 p.m. President Joe Biden spoke with the wife of jailed WNBA star Brittany Griner today to assure Sherelle Griner that he is working to secure her freedom from Russia, where the administration believes Griner is being wrongfully detained. This is after Griner sent a handwritten letter to the White House to tell the president she is afraid she could spend forever in detention after being accused of bringing cannabis oil into the country back in February. Who is the top-rated high school football team in the state from San Antonio? Find out next. The Brennan Bears are the highest-ranked team from San Antonio in the 6A state rankings released by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. The Bears, who finished 13-1 last season, checked in at number 12. The defending state champion Austin Westlake picked at the top following their 16-0 season last year. In fact, it was the Chaparrals who ended the Bears' season last year, handing them their only loss, finishing on top of 12's top 12. Guess who is not far behind the Bears in the state rankings? How about the Steel Knights, checking in at number 16 after their 11-1 finish last season, and who, oh, by the way, will kick off their season against one another in the 3rd game of our tripleheader in the Alamo Dome on Saturday, August the 27th in the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealers. Here's a look at the rest in that top 50. Brennan at 12, Steele at 16, Reagan at 36, and Judson checks in at 47 after missing the playoffs last year. Congratulations to Brennan's Tyler Turner, who's been named to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine preseason All-State defensive team. The Bears defensive back had 133 tackles and 3 interceptions in his junior season, and has just recently verbally committed to Oregon as he works out getting ready for his senior season.
As you can see, there's not a whole lot of people out here, so I think in summer it's very much a time to get ahead and to, really separate yourself from the pack. So that's what I've been trying to do, since I got to high school and since I've learned that hard work is what it takes. So it's very important.
Congratulations. We'll see that young man in the season opener. In fact, did you notice of the 4 teams in that top 50, all are involved in the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022.
That's great. And he committed to Oregon.
Yes.
And I'm betting he wishes he was in Eugene right now with the weather.
Yes,
working out.
I felt hot for him there.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, Greg.
Sure.
We'll be right back after this.
All right, check out this race to see who makes the cut.
Ha ha ha.
Literally, it's a race where different types of lawnmowers are used. All types of blades are used as well. The engines all the same in this grassroots motorsport. Racers competed. Get it, Greg? For the World Championship title in England. The lawnmower races happened on the same weekend as the F1 British Grand Prix. I don't really have to mulch it over which one I watched.
Oh, geez. Okay. Thank you for watching us. Don't forget that GMSA starts at 4:30.